People talk too much, and that's not just a statement. It's a reality that's holding millions of people back from success, from dominance, from clarity, from everything they say they want in life. They run their mouths endlessly, always broadcasting their thoughts, ideas, dreams, problems, opinions, and feelings to the world. Every little thing that comes to mind, they feel the need to share it. Social media has made it worse. Everyone thinks they need to be heard, but the truth is, no one cares, no one is listening, and the more you talk, the less you do. You think talking makes you look strong. You think constantly giving your input, always needing to be heard, makes you important. It doesn't. It makes you exposed. It makes you predictable. It gives people a blueprint of your mind. They see your fears, your doubts, your intentions, and your insecurities. It hands over control. When you talk too much, you lose the mystery, and without mystery, you lose power. The world doesn't reward noise. It rewards results, and results are born in silence. You don't get stronger by talking about the gym. You get stronger by getting in there every day, lifting in silence while everyone else is making excuses. You don't get richer by announcing your business plan on social media. You get richer by grinding in the shadows while everyone else is trying to go viral. You don't gain respect by bragging about your intentions. You earn respect by executing in silence and letting the impact do the speaking for you. Think about it. When you're silent, you can observe. You can assess everything. Who's real, who's fake, who's weak, who's strong. You start to notice things. You start to read between the lines. Silence makes you sharp. While everyone else is too busy talking, you're absorbing. You're watching how people move, how they react, where their weaknesses are. You can't do that when your mouth is constantly running. Most people talk because they're insecure. They talk because they want attention. They want to be noticed. They want validation. But here's the truth. If you're truly dangerous, if you're truly on your purpose, if you're truly leveling up, you don't need anyone to notice you. You don't need to tell anyone anything. You're too busy working. You're too busy building something that the world will eventually be forced to acknowledge whether they like it or not. Silence gives you focus. It keeps your energy intact. Every time you talk, you spend energy. You leak power. You invite opinions, criticism, distractions. When you're silent, your energy stays within. You don't waste it trying to convince people, trying to explain yourself, trying to defend your actions. You don't owe anyone explanations, not your friends, not your family, not the people watching. The only thing you owe is results. Let people think you're doing nothing. Let them assume you've fallen off. Let them guess what's going on in your world. That's the advantage. Confusion is power. When people can't figure you out, they can't stop you. When they don't know what you're planning, they can't prepare against it. When they don't know what drives you, they can't manipulate you. You want to know how you win in life? You outwork everyone silently. You show up early. You stay late. You suffer in silence. You don't post about it. You don't cry about it. You just do it. Over and over and over again until the results are so massive that no one can ignore you. And by the time they realize what you've done, it's already too late for them to catch up. People today have been trained to overshare. They think vulnerability is power. They think crying in public is strength. They think confessing their weaknesses earns them respect. No, it earns you pity. It earns you judgment. It earns you eyes watching you fall. That's not strength. That's weakness pretending to be courage. Real strength is quiet. Real strength is stoic. Real strength is a man who feels pain and keeps going, who faces fear and doesn't flinch, who knows exactly where he's going but never feels the need to talk about it. You can always tell who's really about it and who's faking. The loudest one in the room, usually the weakest. The one who brags the most, usually has the least. The one who's always giving advice, usually hasn't lived it. The strong don't speak unless necessary. They don't need to tell the world what they are. Their presence says it all. The way they move, the way they look at you, the way they carry themselves. It tells you everything without a single word being spoken. Look at how nature operates. A snake doesn't hiss before it bites. A lion doesn't roar when it's hunting. The most dangerous creatures move in silence. They stalk, they wait, they observe, and then they strike with precision. That's how you need to move. Every goal, every ambition, every plan. Keep it to yourself. Protect it. Nurture it in silence, build it behind closed doors, and when it's ready, unleash it on the world without a word. Talking gives people access to your mind. It allows them to get inside and twist things. One negative comment can derail you if you're not focused. One piece of doubt from someone you thought was close can throw off your momentum. That's why you keep it all to yourself, because your dream is fragile. Your mission is sacred. Don't let small-minded people infect your vision with their fear. You know why people never get what they want. Because they announce everything, and then they don't follow through. They say they're going to start a business, then they don't. They say they're going to hit the gym, then they quit. They say they're going to level up, and then they give in. So what happens? No one believes them anymore. Even worse, they stop believing in themselves. Every time you say something and don't do it, you erode your own confidence. You prove to yourself that your words mean nothing. So stop talking, start doing, and when you've done it, you still don't need to talk. Let your life speak for you. Let your bank account speak. Let your body speak. Let your results speak. Let the life you live become the loudest voice in the room. That's how real power looks. That's how real winners operate. Nobody successful spends their time arguing online. Nobody who's crushing life is wasting energy trying to explain themselves. They're too busy getting it done. Too focused on what matters. Silence is not the absence of action. It's the sign of pure, focused, undistracted action. And here's something no one tells you. The more you talk, the more people root against you. The more you expose your plan, the more people secretly hope you fail. The world isn't filled with supporters. It's filled with watchers, haters, people who don't want to see you rise above them. So why give them ammunition? Why give them the satisfaction of watching you struggle? Keep your mouth shut and make them wonder. You ever see a man who's dead silent but still walks like he owns the place? That's presence. That's confidence. That's what comes from being disciplined enough to stay silent, to stay focused, and to stay sharp. You earn that kind of aura by putting in work in the dark. You can't fake that. You can't talk your way into it. That kind of presence comes from years of silence, years of grind, years of suffering in private with no one clapping for you, no one believing in you, no one even noticing you exist, and still pushing through. That's where real strength is born. So while the world screams for attention, you detach. While they panic, you remain calm. While they broadcast, you go ghost. Because you know something they don't. Silence wins. Silence builds, silence grows, silence conquers. Keep your goals quiet. Keep your pain quiet. Keep your moves quiet. The world doesn't need to know. It's none of their business. You don't owe anyone an explanation. And when they ask what you've been doing, just smile. Because deep down, you know the storm you've been surviving. You know the hell you've been walking through. And soon, they'll know too. Not because you said anything, but because your life will speak volumes. And that's the kind of power nobody can ignore. You have to understand something critical if you want to succeed in life. Real power is invisible until it's too late. Real moves aren't seen, they're felt. The man who moves in silence controls the entire room without saying a word. That's not by accident. That's by discipline. That's by strategy. That's by training yourself to value your energy more than your ego. People think that the louder they are, the more dominant they seem. That's false. Loud is not strong. Loud is desperate. Loud is insecure. Real power doesn't need volume. It carries weight. The strongest men are quiet because they've already fought wars in the dark. They've battled themselves, overcome hell, suffered alone, and risen without applause. They don't need to tell you what they're capable of. They've already proven it in the silence of their grind. You want everything in life. Learn to shut up and listen. Observe the room. Pay attention. Watch how people move, not what they say. Watch who really works and who just talks. Watch who keeps promises and who crumbles when it gets hard. You can only see these things if you're quiet. Silence gives you the upper hand. It keeps you one step ahead while everyone else is busy revealing their next move. When you're silent, you have the power to adapt. You become unpredictable. You can switch paths, change directions, pivot strategies, and no one knows. They can't interfere. They can't sabotage you. They can't compare themselves to you. You rob them of that access. Silence gives you freedom. It lets you evolve without pressure, without eyes watching, without opinions weighing you down. You ever wonder why the most successful people seem untouchable? It's because you don't know what they're doing. You just see results. You don't see the pain. You don't see the setbacks. You don't see the late nights and early mornings, because they didn't broadcast it. They went dark. They stayed silent. And that silence created strength, clarity, and focus. When you talk too much, you give the world the blueprint to destroy you. You reveal your goals, and suddenly you invite criticism. You reveal your trauma, and suddenly people know how to manipulate you. You reveal your insecurities, and now you've given your enemies a weapon. You hand over the map to your mind every time you open your mouth unnecessarily. That's why silence is protection. It's armor. Most people crave attention because they've done nothing of value to earn respect. So they talk, they post, they cry for validation. But the man who respects himself doesn't chase attention. He commands it. His presence is enough. His results speak for him. He walks into a room and everyone feels something different. Not because he talks, but because he doesn't need to. And don't confuse silence with passivity. Silence isn't weakness, it's just restraint. A silent man isn't one without thoughts. He's one who controls them. He chooses when to speak, and when he does, every word matters. That kind of power only comes when you've mastered yourself. Most people speak impulsively. They vomit words without thinking. A man who has self-mastery speaks with purpose, and he knows that silence is often more powerful than noise. Everything in life is energy. Your thoughts, your time, your words, they all carry weight. So why waste your energy trying to explain yourself to people who aren't even listening? Why waste time defending your journey to people who aren't even on the path? You owe no one an explanation for chasing greatness. You owe no one a preview of your progress. Focus on building, not proving. The biggest threats to your success are not external. They are the distractions you allow. And talking is a major one. Talking drains your focus. It leads you into drama. It invites emotion where discipline should rule. The more you talk, the less you act. The more you try to explain, the more time you waste. The more you try to convince people, the more you lose your edge. You have to learn how to enjoy being underestimated. Let people think you're average. Let them think you've lost. Let them think you're not serious. Because while they relax and get comfortable, you're outworking them. You're building something so massive, so undeniable, that by the time they realize it, it's too late to stop you. That's the beauty of silence. It blindsides everyone who thought you were done. The problem is, people think progress is about looking busy. They think if they're constantly announcing things, they must be moving forward, but activity is not productivity. You can talk all day and achieve nothing. You can impress people with words and still be broke. You can post motivation quotes and still have no discipline. Silence exposes the truth because it forces you to act without the audience, no applause. No feedback, just raw effort, and most people crumble without that spotlight. You want to be different, learn how to operate without approval, learn how to grind when no one is cheering, learn how to stay consistent when no one's watching. That's the difference between a pretender and a savage. The pretender needs praise to function. The savage becomes elite in isolation. While others quit because they don't get likes, the savage becomes a machine in silence. When you stop talking, you start doing. When you stop seeking validation, you start building real confidence. And when you stop trying to impress, you start living with purpose. Because now, everything you do is for you. Not for the crowd, not for the comments, not for the claps. That's when you become unstoppable. That's when you start to get everything in life. The truth is, most of your circle doesn't want you to win. They say they support you, but they secretly hope you stay at their level. That's why you have to protect your energy. Protect your vision. Don't tell them your goals. Don't tell them your next move. Let them see the results when it's too late to react. Let them feel the shift when you've already taken the throne. Every successful man has mastered this. Say less, do more, because every time you speak, you either build your power or you give it away. Silence is the art of holding your cards close. It's the mindset of a strategist. You're not here to impress, you're here to conquer, and the world doesn't need to hear your planet needs to feel your impact. Don't be the guy who's always talking about what he's going to do. Be the guy who already did it. Don't be the one making promises. Be the one setting records. Don't be the one seeking attention. Be the one who can't be ignored. That level of dominance only comes when you've detached from the noise and committed to the mission in total silence. You need to develop a hunger for private victories. You need to fall in love with leveling up without sharing it. Hit the gym and don't post. Close the deal and don't brag. Win silently. Stack silently. Rise silently. Let the silence be your momentum. Let it fuel the storm inside you, because when you finally unleash it, it'll be undeniable. Most people won't get it. That's fine. Let them live in noise. Let them chase fame. Let them broadcast their mediocrity. That's not your path. You're on a different frequency. You're building in a way they can't understand. And one day, they'll look around and realize they never saw you coming. Because you were too silent, too focused, too dangerous. The world will reward the man who speaks last, the one who let his life do the talking, the one who walked into every room with unshakable presence because he knew exactly who he was and what he had built. Not through noise, but through discipline, through obsession, through war fought in silence. That's the man who gets everything in life, not because he demanded it, but because he became it. Silence isn't just a strategy. It's a weapon. Wield it correctly, and there's no limit to what you can achieve. Don't announce it. Don't explain it. Don't justify it. Just show up. Just execute. Just win. In the end, it's not what you said. It's what you built in silence when no one believed in you, when no one saw you, when no one clapped for you. That's what defines the real ones, and that's how you win, every time. So when it's all said and done, don't let your words be your legacy. Let your results speak so loudly that silence becomes your signature. Let your discipline be your volume. Let your success echo in every room you enter without you having to say a single word, because the man who masters silence doesn't just win. He dominates quietly, relentlessly, completely.